Well, good morning, everybody. Ben here with Fly Plugins, and I've got my good friend and business partner, Nate, on the line here with me, and we are here today to answer your questions about WordPress, about WP Courseware, S3 Media Maestro, Churnly, or online business in general. We love talking about marketing, online marketing, business, and that sort of thing as well. So if you're new here, welcome. And yeah, this is my good friend Nate. He's up in Denver, Boulder, Colorado, and I'm down in Phoenix, Arizona, burning up. So he's got the nice weather up there.
It's burning up here too, as well. Believe it or not. Watering tomatoes 3 times a day.
I've got a little garden out here. I've got some chili peppers on it, but I think that's about the only thing that grows out here.
And lettuce.
Yeah. We've got, I think we've got a few questions that our customers or even potential customers have submitted over the course of the month. There's a page on our website. It's flyplugins.com/office-hours. And you can register for these office hours there, but you can also submit your questions there as well. And again, we like to answer your questions. So we can answer your questions that you submit during the webinar as well. So we'll answer your questions live. If you've joined us this morning, we'll answer your questions. We can take questions from YouTube, Facebook, or even just the Zoom webinar as well.
And you can pop those right in the chat window. We'll get to those as quickly as possible. So we've only cataloged a few email questions throughout the month since our last office hours. If we want to start with those, Ben.
Yeah, let's start with those. I think there's just a few, and then I've got just a small announcement, just some WP Courseware news that we can chat about a little bit, and then if there's any other questions, we can handle those at that time as well.
Well, that sounds good. Let's dig in then.
Let's go for it.
I'm experimenting with a new format here for how we collect these email submissions. So hopefully I can read these correctly. We've got a question here from Jamie. How does WP Courseware handle being on mobile? Can a student easily read text in a lesson when on a phone? Can your LMS be used as a way to deliver ebook materials? I see that EDD supports PayPal and Amazon payments. Is there a way to use both within WP Courseware? So I guess that's a multi-part question there, starting with mobile.
So all good questions. So with mobile, we get a lot of users that ask if WP Courseware is mobile friendly. And my typical answer is, well, it is, but it's really going to heavily depend on your theme. So if your theme is mobile friendly, then your course and course content will also be mobile friendly. So WP Courseware is based on what they call a custom post type. So whenever one of your students views course content on page, it's very similar to a regular page or post within WordPress. So as long as you can see your pages and posts, okay on mobile, then you can pretty much bet on viewing course content or course units on mobile just fine. So that kind of goes into the next question, which was, if a student can easily read the text when on the phone. So again, it's really based on your theme, what fonts and text sizes your theme is actually using, because it's just going to piggyback off of that. So I would take a look at your theme. If your pages look good, if they look good, if your posts look good, then you can bet on your course units looking pretty good too.
Yeah, I think most customers have had pretty good success with that. I know we've tested it quite a bit in the past, and it works well.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead, Ben.
Oh, no, did we want to move on to the second part of that question, or?
I think it's technically a 3-part question.
Okay.
Next, Jamie asks, can your LMS be used as a way to deliver ebook materials? And I think that's kind of a resounding yes. It's kind of perfectly designed for doing something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like you could include, your ebook material as a download within each unit, depending on how you're delivering that ebook. If you're just pulling content out, copying and pasting it into a unit, I mean, obviously that works fine. If you're looking to distribute that ebook within the course, you could obviously attach that to one of the course units. For example, if the first module is talking about that ebook, one of the units within that module, you can just create a downloadable hyperlink in there to download that ebook. So you can't necessarily sell the ebook as a one-off product per se, but you can include it within your online course. I know Nate's done a lot of blogging and things about how to add resources into your online course. Whether it's an action guide or some sort of cheat sheet or something like that. But those downloadable files, they can definitely be added into course units.
Yeah. Yeah, and we could even help you if you really wanted to sort of structure it as an ebook instead of a course. We could help you sort of relabel maybe module to chapter, or things like that. Make it feel a little bit more like a book. Instead of mark as completed, maybe next page or stuff like that. So that's just a tiny bit of custom work, but you could give it a real ebook feel for sure. Final question in here. I see that EDD supports PayPal and Amazon payments. Is there a way to use both in WP Courseware? I guess the answer would be to use EDD as your payment gateway, right? Or shopping cart.
Right. Yeah. We typically don't recommend that you use multiple payment gateways or checkout shopping carts or that sort of thing, just in case there's some sort of conflict. So if you're going to use Easy Digital Downloads for other digital products that you're selling, then you can always use the add-on for EDD and WP Courseware, which basically integrates the two. And so, but on the flip side to that, WP Courseware does have PayPal payment gateway as well as Stripe. So it just all depends on how you want to deliver, digital products on your website.
Right. Yeah, and if you had to use Amazon payments, yeah, the layering would be WP Courseware, EDD, and then there are all those different extensions for EDD after that. So
yep,
the sky's the limit. All right, next up. So we've got that one. Next up is Brianna. I'm just beginning. I don't know how to use WordPress either. I have most of my course content in Google Drive, so I need to transfer it into your course. Beginning steps on WordPress and in your courseware would be helpful. Also, is there anything I need to do with Media Maestro or any way to use it if it's a storage space like Dropbox?
There's a lot of questions in here as well. It's pretty loaded.
Yeah, that's deep.
So to attack the first question, we get a lot of questions like this where we have people coming in, they know they want to create a website, they want to introduce an online course, and they just don't know where to start, or maybe they're just a beginner with WordPress. Well, that's basically how everybody starts out. Even at one point, I didn't know much about WordPress, and I kind of just had to figure things out. But today there's a lot of resources out there. Obviously, you can hit YouTube and learn a whole lot about WordPress. Nate and I know of a really good resource. It's called WP 101, and you can basically get a full scope of WordPress in, I think it's like 34 videos. It's kind of like almost like an online course about WordPress, and you can learn a whole lot about how WordPress functions, how various parts of WordPress work. and that sort of thing. And I would highly recommend that for beginners. Nate, do you have any other resources that you can think of for a beginner to WordPress?
Yeah, I mean, WP Beginner has some free tutorials, but I would highly recommend WP 101. If you spent 3 hours a night, say after work, for 3 nights on WP 101, you would have a pretty solid WordPress foundation. It's just very clear, very concise videos. It's not very expensive. It's worth the investment, and it's designed for people just like you who, maybe they were on a Weebly or a Wix or a Squarespace where everything was done for them, and now they need to get their hands dirty a little bit. And I think it's a great resource.
So the second part of that question was, I think Brianna had mentioned she had some of her course content on Google Drive and needs to transfer it over to WP Courseware. And again, so that's it's actually not too terribly difficult. Depending on how you have your course curriculum already laid out, your course content, within WordPress, you would basically create a course, you would add a module, and then you would begin to add in your course units. Within your course units, you have a text editor, which you can begin to add your course content. So you could open up your files over on Google Drive, whether it's a PDF or maybe a Google Doc or a Microsoft Doc or something like that, and you can copy all of that text, and you can just literally copy and paste it right over to your course unit. You can pull in your images, you can add those to the media library. So it's not too difficult to bring in that course content. Unfortunately, there's no import process or anything like that. It's a little bit more manual, but it's not too difficult. So that's how I would recommend transferring that course content into WP Courseware.
Yeah, that's really sort of the only way to do it, isn't it? Just to copy that stuff in.
Yeah, which is nice. So I mean, at least you're not having to retype it from scratch or type it as you copy. It's just a copy and paste is, it's not the fastest way, but it's definitely easier than having to retype it all.
Right. Plus, you get a chance to think through your course outline structure as you build it before you put the content in, and you may think of ways to change things around that are more intuitive for your students.
So next question on that string of questions was beginning steps on WordPress and in your courseware would be helpful. So we have quite a bit of resources available for WP Courseware. We have a YouTube channel. It's got a bunch of videos, tutorials, that sort of thing. We also have a website. It's support.wpcourseware.com. And we've got over 100 articles on there, how-to articles on how to do various things with WP Courseware. One thing, going back to the YouTube channel, we did recently release a video which kind of gives you a kind of a broad overview of WP Courseware. It's not necessarily a detailed tutorial, but it does introduce you to various features and various parts of WP Courseware that might get you off. So that's more of a quick start guide, which may be helpful to you as well. So, but aside from that, you're welcome to submit to our support. We have a member portal. There's a support section in there. You can send that to our support desk, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, even just how-to stuff.
Yeah, Ben's been recording some great videos for our YouTube channel, and there's just a ton in there. And there's also a lot of stuff in the blog too. Maybe not necessarily about technical specifics, but marketing your course and titling courses and things like that. So we've got quite a bit of content for you to pick through.
Yeah, the blog's a great resource for more of that strategical type stuff. We do have some technical stuff, but Nate's done a great job pumping out that strategical type stuff for creating a course from the ground up. So there's a lot of good stuff. Check out our blog for sure.
Yeah.
So next question in that string was if there's anything she needs to do with Media Maestro, or is there a way to use it if it's a storage space? So S3 Media Maestro is not necessarily a storage space. It's kind of it's a utility. Kind of the way I like to put it is it does 3 or 4 different things. Number one, it's a video player. It's a Media Elements video player. It can play your media files, audio, video. The second part of that is that it integrates with Amazon S3 cloud storage. So that might be where you're talking about maybe having some kind of storage solution. So, but it's just a utility to get files from your desktop to Amazon. So it's not the actual storage space. It's just a utility to get it there, but it's very integrated. So it's working hand in hand with Amazon S3. And if you've ever used Amazon S3, it can be a little cumbersome to use. The UI is not very, I don't know, it's not laid out very well. Corey's done a very good job at, creating our short code builder within S3 Media Maestro, so that you can easily upload files, you can create folders, you can create playlists, and you can display those on your pages, posts, or even course units. So then the third part of that is when you do that, when you use the short code builder to embed a video that's stored up on AWS S3, what will happen when you load that page is that you're going to get an expiring URL. Excuse me. And so with that expiring URL, basically what will happen is people won't be able to hot link that across the internet. If they go and view your source code and they get that video URL and they try to hot link it, it will eventually expire based on what you set for your expiration time. And once that URL expires, it will never ever work again. What you would have to do is reload the page. It'll dynamically generate another URL, and then obviously that URL is kind of like a ticking time bomb. It'll eventually expire as well. And then the fourth part of that is it works with audio, video, but you can also protect your files that you store on AWS S3, just regular flat files like PDFs, documents, PowerPoints, whatever it is that you want to store up there and protect, you can do that. So it'll create expiring URLs for those downloadable files as well. Now we do have, S3 Media Maestro does have CloudFront functionality. It's not as heavily integrated as S3 is, but you can use CloudFront. If you already have a CloudFront distribution set up, you can use that so that you can deliver your multimedia files faster. Since it's basically just a content delivery system, so it works. It's really fast. It makes your multimedia files load much quicker, and it doesn't matter where you are geographically. And so it doesn't have a full integration with the plugin, but it does work hand in hand. So, and it's basically what S3 Media Maestro does. It's kind of just a utility.
And we should mention, because I think we get this question quite a bit, that if you set the expiry time to say 1 minute, if a paying customer who has legitimate access to that page accesses that page and it has a 1 minute expiry time, as long as they have that page open, they can keep viewing it. It doesn't just disappear after a minute.
Right. And along with that, I know I've had several questions come along through our support site, and people are asking questions like, why can we still see the download, the URL, if we're looking at the source code, how can we, really protect this video? And my answer to that really is there's really no way to do that. I mean, at least with the browser technology that we have right now, there's just not a way to do that. And even if we were able to do that, there's always a case where somebody could come in with screencast software and they can record your video, whether they have the URL or not. They can just fire up the software and select that little section of your screen with the video, and they can hit record, and they can record your video. So there's really no 100% method to lock down your videos. I mean, there's probably some other additional security things you can do or precautions you can take, but there's nothing 100%.
Right. Yeah. If this were a private coaching group and someone were running ScreenFlow in the background, they could send it along to their buddy, and their buddy is suddenly a member of the group.
Yeah. Yep.
So was that everything for Brianna?
Yeah, I think that was everything for Brianna. And I think we got an email from her. She's an Arizona native. So, hey,
oh, cool.
Rock on. Arizona rocks sometimes.
From October to April.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay. We've got one from Lucia. Hello, I am working with WP Courseware, and when adding the units to the modules, the units remain constantly loading. I cannot create my courses. I need help, please.
This sounds like maybe a question more for like our support desk. So, but I can quickly just kind of give my opinion based on this observation. It sounds like there could be some sort of JavaScript issue or something going on, maybe a plugin conflict or maybe a theme conflict. There's really no way to say, because I don't know what, Lucia's environment looks like. I don't know what plugins she has installed, what theme she's using. So something like this, I would just highly recommend log into the member portal and just submit a support request, and we'd be happy to take a look at it. 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be some sort of conflict. But we've done a pretty good job with WP Courseware. I should say Corey's done a good job with how our JavaScripts load and making sure they load only when they need to be loaded, and so it's likely not a WP Courseware issue, but if it is, we will definitely take a look and fix that.
Yeah, that one's going to take a bit of deep diving. Okay. Well, that was all we had for email submissions for the past month.
I was just checking email, Nate. It looked like we had one more coming from Mitchell.
Oh, did one just come in?
Well, yeah, there was a couple more that came in, but I think this one, I think one of them we've already had from Brianna, but this one was from Mitchell. And basically he's just wanting to know some basics about starting WP Courseware and then integrations with ActiveCampaign. And so currently we don't have any integrations with ActiveCampaign. However, I suppose you could use something like Zapier or something like that. We did recently, so this kind of leads into one of the announcement I wanted to make. So this past week, Corey had completed the ConvertKit add-on for WP Courseware. We launched that on Tuesday, and the ConvertKit add-on for WP Courseware is really cool. It basically allows you to integrate WP Courseware and ConvertKit. When you build a course, you can assign that course a form, a tag, or even a sequence. So when somebody enrolls into that course, they'll get put into a form or added to a sequence, or they'll get tagged with a specific tag. The really powerful feature that we introduced was the webhook feature, which is really cool, because what you can do with that is you can enroll people into that course based on a behavior that happens on the ConvertKit side. So for example, if you create a webhook for your, let's just say, we'll call it the WP 101 course. If you create a webhook for that course and you base it on a behavior of getting tagged with a specific tag. So, when somebody opts into a form, if you have an automation running on the back end of ConvertKit to add a tag to that user when they opt into that form, if that's the tag that is the behavior that was set up with that webhook, then what will happen is they'll get enrolled into that course. When they get enrolled into that course, WP Courseware will then send them an email with their username, password. Well, not password. It's a link to reset their password, but they will automatically get enrolled. So again, you can enroll people based on a behavior, tagging somebody, joining a sequence, joining a form, completing a sequence. So this is a really powerful feature, because what you could do with this is you could you could use courses as a lead magnet. So you can create, a mini course maybe based on your full size, full blown course. Just create a mini course based on that, and let people enroll into that for free if they sign up for your form. So it's a powerful feature. It's free. The add-on is free. We released it on WordPress.org, and so we're pretty proud of that one. Hopefully we get another one in here soon. We are leaning toward doing a MailChimp add-on as well. I know Mitchell had mentioned ActiveCampaign. That's another really it's a really good CRM as well, which maybe we will take a look at in the future.
Yeah, this is something we've been wanting to do for about a couple of years, and you can even, speaking of it as a lead magnet, you could even perhaps set up a mini course with maybe the first 3 units of your premium course and offer those up, and on the last unit of the mini course sell your premium course. So there are just so many ways you can use it, and it's a little marketing powerhouse.
That's probably all I had, Nate. So I don't know, do you have anything else on your end?
No, that's it. We're going to have some new content coming up on the blog. I'm working on some of that today, and stay tuned. We got a lot of good stuff coming up.
Awesome. So it looks like our next office hours is going to be on the 26th of July.
Yeah.
And that's at 1 p.m. Eastern. So if you go back to our website, flatplugins.com/office-hours, you can not only register for the next webinar, but you can also submit your questions there that we answer during the webinar. So we appreciate you guys tuning in today. If you haven't done so already, this is going to be posted on YouTube. So if you haven't done so already, would you mind subscribing to our website? And that way you don't miss out on any of our office hours or any of our video tutorials or strategy videos that we publish on our YouTube channel.
And if you had a question that you submitted, but you weren't able to make it today, we'll have a replay of this office hours up on the office hours page within a couple of hours. So you can review it there.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you all for watching. Appreciate you coming and watching, and we will see you July 26th next month.
Yeah, be there.
We'll see you later.
Thanks, everyone. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.